Hey guys, welcome back to my masterclass series. As my collaboration with YouTube and Google to help you build a portfolio to make a living with your art. Last episode, we had a really fun storytime video featuring my character Nima. She brought us in a really fun journey on how to get started, having all the tools to make sure you're ready to build your portfolio. For this episode, we're gonna learn about character design. I've learned a lot of things as a student and through my professional career, and I really want to tell you guys all about it. And we're going to be designing a character in my book, Nima. She is a secondary main character. She's super awesome. I'm super excited to show you, so let's get started. So, character design, probably the most popular genre in art, simply because we are characters. Yes, we are characters, we relate to characters, therefore we want to draw characters. One of the key things about character design is relatability. It's so important that we relate to their story. If we don't relate to them, then we don't really care for them. Any games that you play, any movie that you watch, we're always following the main character and seeing what decisions they make and revealing their story. And you have to make sure that we connect to them. A common trait you'll find in heroes and main characters is having a good heart. Having a good heart is something we can deeply connect to. That's why characters like Hiccup, Spider-Man, Ash Ketchum are all really relatable. We want to follow them on their journey. There are two very common ways on how to design a character. One is probably the most popular in the industry, and that's with the story. You usually have a story first, a script, a brief, and then you design your character. The other common way, is probably my favorite way, is you design a really cool character and then make a story around them, which is partially what I did with Faye. Yes, everyone, welcome Faye to the world. She is the secondary main character of Nima. I love her so much. I've been developing her for the last few months. So I'll tell you a little bit about Faye and then show you how I created her and then bring you through the process on how to create your very own character. So let's do it. She had a hard life growing up. She's an only child and she didn't really like humans so much. She befriended these three spirits, which was ice, fire, and lightning, which became part of her unique magic and fighting style. Back then, I just had a fun idea of kind of like a magician playing with different elements, and I just loved it so much I kind of created a whole story for her. And because Faye grew into our secondary main character, she had to contrast Nima. Yes, these two characters have to contrast each other but relate to each other. So when I was designing Faye, I thought about how Nima grew up in a more privileged family. Her clothes are more pristine, they're more nice, her hair is done well, she has rounder shapes. And then we have Faye, who's a little more grungier, She has sharper features and her clothes are a little more worn. Although these characters are different and contrast each other, their journeys will echo each other and relate back to one another. The most important thing when making an iconic character is they have to have a thing. Yes, a signature trait that makes them who they are. For example, you have SpongeBob, who's a literal sponge, he's a square shape, or Patrick Star, who's a starfish, or even Superman. He has that giant S on his chest, his colors are blue, red, yellow, and we can instantly identify who Superman is, despite if it's super realistic or super cartoony. So for example, we have Nima, I would say it's the red skin, white hair, and that symbol on her forehead. And then Faye, with her really cool hair, with her braids, and then her eye tattoo. This was her very, very first design. I really liked this sketch. She had like red pants and cool pink hair. And at this point, I didn't really know what her signature was, but I really liked it, so I kind of had to develop a story for her, and the design changed as the story changed. Before you get started, you need some inspiration. That inspiration can come from anywhere, whether it's like the sketch right here, or maybe it's like a scribble in your sketchbook, or even like words. For example, Pikachu. That could have been like electric mouse. That was a great starting point for you to start your character. I have this template right here. A very popular way of starting is with black and white silhouettes. That's very popular in the industry to try to get the shapes for us to remember. But since I kind of understand what her character is, I'm just gonna jump right into colored silhouettes. A direction I was thinking about was kind of giving her kind of shortish hair. But it's kind of sporadic, She's a little more grungy, she's a little more edgy, so maybe she has short hair, like that. It's kind of like a direct contrast to Nima's, which is really fluid hair. Thinking about having like a cape that covers her neck, like that. I was thinking, since Nima has like a kimono and like is so prim and proper. Maybe she could have like some really cool shorts showing out her really cool legs. And gloves. Then she's the magician. Ooh. At this point, you know, you don't want to go in and kind of make pretty details. We're not at the stage yet, but we just want the big shapes to read. That's like a fun character. You can see right here that the character is very symmetrical design-wise, right? In the design world, that can mean a little boring sometimes. And so, to make it a little cooler, we're gonna add some asymmetry to make her design more interesting. Maybe she has this right here, you know? Some coolness. Maybe she has one earring. That could be really cool. Like that. So this is the first variation. I'm thinking magician, you know, really cool hair. And for this one, let's try something completely different, all right? Maybe we could give her blue hair. Ooh. Yeah, and shapes are so important. They play a major role in how an audience perceives the character. For example, if she had like a more spiky hair like that, the viewer would relate to that as a more aggressive design. So maybe she's a little more edgy or villainistic. If we went with something a little rounder, this character looks more approachable, looks more friendly, and then also we have the blue, which means trust. Let's make her a little more edgier. Maybe, I'm thinking this type of hair. Also, it's really good practice when making these silhouette variations is to make sure each one has a different voice. We're not doing costume design where we're changing little things. We want each one to say something completely different. Let's maybe have a one-shouldered cape. That could be really cool. Ooh, look at that. And maybe she has like a jumpsuit and red boots. Ooh, that's cool. Love that. Some really cool hand designs. Oh my God, I love that. Look at this. Some cool tattoos or something on her arm to show that, you know, she's a mage. She's like accessing from her tattoo powers. Awesome. So this is the second design, and you can tell that these are two different girls. You know, these are two different voices, basically to give us a mental stimulation of what it could be. And you've seen Faye's design, and so we're gonna do something in a similar wavelength. Yeah, the cool thing is you have these two variations and you can kind of mix and match and assemble what you like from each one. So here is our final variations. You can see that each one embodies a different tone of voice. You know, this one's a little more friendly, something a little closer to the final design of Faye. Ooh, nice. And as I was doing this, I was thinking of their signature. You know, what makes them them? Yeah, and ultimately, after playing around, I just gravitated towards this really cool hair. Look at this hair, it's so cool. From this, I'm gonna take this design and make a more refined version with all the shapes kind of supporting the hair. And now we have our big read. This is Faye. And what we wanna do now is kind of narrow in on our design and design the medium shapes, you know? Maybe she has the belt, emblem on her cape, something more of a second read. With the main intention is to support this really cool hair. Let's try it out. Still kind of like that idea of the tattoo. So maybe like she has some sort of kind of cool tattoo here. Oh, that's cool, look at that. A good designer knows how to edit. A lot of the times, people kind of put so much cool stuff in their design, and this is very popular with the video game industry. No offense, but a lot of their designs are over-flourished. You know, there's a lot of stimulus going on, but that basically just relates to the game of armor. God tier, I don't know, and you want to stack yourself and make yourself look the coolest, but when you're making something for film or TV, you kind of want to simplify your design, and you want to be a good editor. If this was a video game, right, we would stack her with all this armor. And then we have wings, right? She has like a necklace with a medallion, and then she has a sword. What else can we add, guys? A big shield. Even further, it represents her home country. I don't know, but you can tell, right? This is a video game, and this is not what we want to do when we're creating iconic characters. We're not creating armor, or we're not costume designing. We're creating characters. Go all the way back. She's losing our armor. No. And we want to be good editors and make sure we always think about the main component, which is her hair. And so let's support that. And this is not the case for every video game at all. There's some great iconic characters like Link and Mario, Luigi, Pikachu. They have a really nice iconic presence, and that's up to you, the designer, on what to edit and what to feature. Maybe her tattoos are a blue color? Ooh, that's nice. See, everything here kind of leads up to the hair, to the eyes, and that's exactly what I want for her. Yeah, you can also see here that the cape's design also echo the shape of the hair. That's a pretty good pass, you know? Visibility in the eye, the one sleeve, some stimulus on the cape itself. For this variation, I kind of flipped it inside out, you know? Red shirt with white pants, black boots, and you can tell instantly that her impact changes a lot. And that's the key thing, you know? We kept the big shapes, we kept the big read, but kind of changed the internal language of what you want to say. I actually really like this a lot. She looks a lot more fresher. This one looks a little more dark and edgy. So there are endless, infinite possibilities in what you can do, and you can easily get lost. That's why movie studios probably take months or even years to finalize their final character, because there are infinite possibilities.
Intermission.
Hey guys, so I went ahead and with the template, I drew in Faye's actual design. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what I was thinking. You know, I still kept the hair. We still have the eye tattoo. Just note that you'll probably make hundreds of variations before you get to the final one, but you will get there, I promise. Every design decision is kind of forcing yourself up to the hair. And I put in some blues, you know, she's still friendly, we can trust her. And I kept the half cape, I love that idea. And I really like the impact of this design. And a good design test to see if your character is iconic enough is to have anybody, even a 5-year-old, draw your character. And if they can replicate it and resemble the character, then you've done a good job. Remember that design with Faye with all the armor? I feel like that's a lot harder for anyone to remember, but this one, I feel is simple enough to be successful. So while we don't have a 5-year-old, we have James! Yay! So James is in the studio, and let's take this all away and see if he can remember Faye and draw what she looks like. Let's do it. All right, here you go. Nice. It looks like her already. I'm like, for real.
Oh, whoa!
James, it's amazing.
Yay.
That's pretty spot on. Hold on. Let's compare this back to our original one.
Drawing so it works.
James, you did a pretty good job. Look at that. You even got that little blue in there.
The necklace.
Oh, you forgot the necklace. It's okay. But overall, you know, I feel like the impact is there and we can recognize that this is Faye. And I swear to God, we could have cheated, but we stayed true to the design test and we didn't. And now we know that it's a successful design. Thanks, James, for helping us confirm that. And if you want this pose template for you to try out your own characters with, I'm giving it for free on my website. Yeah, the link's in the description. And in the previous video, I talked a lot about presentation. You know, you want to present your character in the best light. And so this is kind of a static pose. And what we want to do now is find a good way to represent her. Let's try some things. I don't even know what I'm doing.
What were you drawing?
I'm drawing a leg, bro. I need to infuse her spirits. What a perfect time to infuse her powers. Ooh. Yeah, so this is the first pose that I have, you know, kind of roughed in. And what I'm trying to do here is show her attitude. She knows she's strong, she's showing off her magic, you know, she's kind of a little bit smug. I think this is a first good pass, but let's try another one. So here's the second pose. And I'm being really loose with these, you know? I'm trying to capture the gesture, I'm trying to capture the personality, I'm trying to explore visually, and for this one, I'm flaunting her magic a little more. For the third one, I want to capture her calmness and her laid-back nature a little more. So yeah, I'm gonna try a third one. Awesome. Here is the third pose, and check it out. Look at all the poses. This one, she's like flaunting her magic, and this one, like, she's really maybe casting a spell. I'm really digging this one. You know, she's laid back and letting the magic speak for herself, and there's a really nice confidence here. And while we don't have all the time in the world to fully flesh this out, I went ahead and finished it. And here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's Faye. Yes, this is her rendered out, you know? She has a nice confident pose, she's stoic, letting the magic speak for herself, she's firm on the ground. The important lesson to take away from this is the design process. You know, we want to make sure we have a solid, iconic character which we can all relate to, and the rest is just practice, you know, hours of rendering, then studies, and then eventually you will get here, I promise. And after you have the design, you know, you have the pose right, and we understand who the character is, the next step that I love doing and everyone loves seeing are poses. You know, super cool action poses, and check it out. This was, after I had the design, you know, I went ahead and kind of did some really cool moves based on her magic, and I'm getting excited seeing this. She's the magician, you know, and this is her powers. This is like all three of her spirits combining into like an arcane magic and like demolishing the enemy. We have her putting on her glove over here, and then we have her maybe like attacking with two spirits at once. This is maybe like a lightning fire shotgun kind of spell. This is her leaping into the wind. I was able to do this here because I had the design of the character over here. And after you have your final design and you do some really cool poses, the cherry on top is the character illustration. Yes, this is where people pay the big buck. You know, this is the juice. This is where you put your love of rendering, lighting, and all the composition all into play. This is like a cinematic moment for your character. And here's mine. Ready? Bam! Ah, it's Faye! Check it out. This is kind of what I'm thinking, you know, she's kind of in the air, it's very luminous. She's playing with her spirits. We have the really cool hair, we have the eye tattoo, and everything just kind of comes together through rendering, through story, to the pose. And this is where, you know, I get really excited because it's literally breathing life to your character. But all this is just glitz and glam. This is just hours of rendering, hours of perfection. But what's really important is having a good design, because if you have a bad design and you do all this glitz and glam on top, the design is still going to be bad. It's the foundation that matters. And because I had my design, you know, I thought about it, you know, about the story and different things that's going to make her, I was able to continue further with the poses, with the final illustration, and let that breathe through. Yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot on how to create characters, or having a starting point to create characters. Hope you guys like the reveal of Faye. I'm really excited about her. You know, she's like so much of what I'm about. I just love magic and mages and strong females. I feel like she's an embodiment of that. And she's a really good contrast to Nima. And let's take one final look at everything we've created in this episode. What's up? You wanna hang out? Wanna hang out? Oh, it's Milo! Milo, yay! Milo, what do you think of Faye, huh? What do you think of Faye? Do you like her? She's my new best friend. I'm gonna replace you. Do you like her? Give her a kiss. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the character design episode of my masterclass series. I love characters and I've been drawing them for as long as I can remember. These are some of the key things that I took away that was really valuable for me, and hopefully they can help you design your characters. In the next episode, we're gonna attack portraits. We'll be attacking things like color, light, rendering, exploring unique ways on how to make your portrait look amazing. And if you want the pose template files for you to try your own designs on, I'm giving it away for free on my site right here. Try it out. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with.
Question of the video.
What is a character you wish you designed and why? For me, it's probably Princess Kita from Atlantis.
That's how we
Yes, she's so cool. She's so up my alley, you know. She's like a power-filled female with tattoo marking. Then she's my favorite Disney princess. I feel like she doesn't get enough recognition.
Oh, hey.
Good luck with your character designs. I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with. And I'll catch you next time where we're drawing portraits on the next episode of RossDraws Masterclass. Every day the color dodge today.